Greetings again, everybody. Welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Crown of the Ivory King. We are continuing right where we left off. There's no need for you to actually aggro that enemy over there. There's nothing there that you can get at this point. Or ever. But that's besides the point. Now, those enemies there, those are actually the ones that we've been seeing sitting around doing nothing. And those that have been sitting around doing nothing are still sitting around doing nothing. It's just that those happen to be more aggressive and, well, more active, period. But as with most casters, if you get close to them, they're not a problem. The main reason you might want to keep them at a range here is kind of related to those other enemies. And that was me fumbling around with the dodges, mostly because I was dumb enough to have my binoculars out, which screwed me up big time. But oh well, mistakes happen. And the only way to lose in a Souls game is to give up. So let's try again right away. This time maybe with a little more finesse. If you can call what I'm doing finesse, but I guess not. So, this is the completely riveting art of sniping from a safe position. We've seen it plenty of times, and if you're playing a Souls game, you will do it plenty of times too. But I found I have to do it much more often in Dark Souls 2 than in Dark Souls 1. Unless, of course, I would prefer fighting like 3 of those guys at once, which I'm not sure I do. Kind of glad I didn't have to deal with that guy. From the looks of it, he's patrolling just outside there. And if you time it right, you might not have to deal with him while dealing with what's in that room. But I wouldn't count on it. Oh, look at that. We're being invaded by some holy knight. Well, I'll give you time to guess what this invader's gimmick is. For the time being, we're just gonna deal with those enemies. I find it easiest to just lure them down here, because that's actually a pretty big, well, just place to fight them in, as opposed to up there. But right now, the only other thing up there we would need to worry about is one of those casters, who's also standing there. So I guess, now that I think about it, fighting upstairs would be a smarter choice, because there's kind of an obstruction in the middle of the room which might allow you to actually, well, position yourself a little more strategically. But if you can fight in an open space, there's nothing wrong with just luring them down here. So, those frozen guys in the middle of the room, you might recognize them as the golems from Drang Lake Castle. And that's exactly what they are. But since they're frozen, we can't activate them. So there's no real need for us to worry about that. Yet, at least. Yeah, if I see crates or barrels, I just feel the need sometimes to do stuff to them, like roll into them, destroy them, or blow them up. Ah, well. Yeah, there he is. This Phantom, Holy Knight Arheim, is unique in that he always uses the spell Chameleon, or a Silver Talisman, to disguise himself as a background object. He will always be here, and as far as I can tell, he'll always be the same barrel, but I might be wrong. Once he's exposed, of course, he's just your regular phantom, but if you really don't expect him, he's definitely gonna just... He's probably gonna get a good hit on you, maybe a backstab, who knows. It's also a pretty neat trick to play on people when you are not actually, you know, a phantom of the NPC variety, but of the human variety. Which would allow you to utilize these kinds of abilities in, say, more inventive ways. But hey, we're back at the beginning of the area. And I guess it's now as good a time as any to give Aava another shot.
This dead city has nothing to offer. Go back. Do not seek the old chaos, nor its twisted flame.
Alright, now we can see Aava. And she's a big kitty. Now, the Souls games kind of have a weird relationship to cats, mostly because in Dark Souls, the only cats that were in the game looked really damn weird. They had their mandatory Cheshire cat grin. This is more of a straight up tiger. The fight itself, once you got used to the movement of the boss, isn't too difficult. The biggest trick I can give you is to just not dodge away from it, but into it. Of course, only if this is actually, you know, not clearly a bad idea. There might be opportunities where running away is definitely better, but for the most part, dodging into it or to the side around it, even though I fucked it up right there, is definitely the better choice. And when Aava jumps away to kind of charge or lunge at you again, what you can do is just heal quickly. Aava gives you plenty of opportunities to actually heal. There, I said to dodge into another way, but you can do it either way. However, if you dodge in her direction, you can fairly easily get in a couple hits, like so. Well, that was one hit, but anyway. Most of the time you will be able to get in a few more hits. But you will not want to stay under her. Normally, with bosses like this is a good idea. I mean, good example would be the Royal Rat Authority. But, well, here not so much, because Aava has a countermeasure for that kind of thing. Two countermeasures, in fact. One is that kind of ice crystal summoning thing, and the other is that one, just a plain old AoE. She does it hard, definitely, if you let her hit you. But, again, if you know that you can dodge into her, it's not much of a problem. You'll even get one opportunity or the other to just, you know, heal, catch a breather, if you don't want to hit her. It may seem counterintuitive, but staying really close to her and healing is actually a pretty good idea. As long as she's not actively jumping away from you to give you breathing room, which she likes to do as well. I personally really like this boss. It's a really nice change of pace from all the humanoids that we faced so far, like even the DLCs. There was the dragon, Sin. It was a really nice fight. But all the others were mostly humanoid enemies of some sort, which we've seen plenty in this game. So even a kind of unique one like Elana the Squalid Queen still seems a little bit dull compared to, well, stuff like Sin or Aava And those two are actually my favorite boss fights from the DLC. Even though neither of them are particularly hard, they're pretty fun and different enough from, I don't know, some knight with a big weapon, like, let's say the Fume Knight, or most bosses, not most, that's unfair, but a lot of the bosses in the game fall into this category. And the ones I enjoy most are just those that don't fall into it. But hey, we have bested Aava, and this building looks somewhat familiar. It is slightly reminiscent of Anna Londo, but actually it's different enough. By which I mean to say, no, this is not Anna Londo, in fact. There were plenty of people when this was released first who had the initial reaction that, hey, this is just Anna Londo but frozen. No, it's not. So we've now seen, well, most of the DLC already. And right through here actually is the last boss encounter of this DLC, but there's a twist to it. So first let's have a chat with that lady up there, which we can't see.
To think Aava could be bested. Who are you? This land is barren, cursed by the old chaos. It gave birth to atrocities, and the people fled in fear. Until our Lord, the Ivory King, came. My dear Lord, a most true king. It was with his magnificent soul that he built a Leon Royce and contained the spread of chaos. But the chaos would not be sated, and the king gave his own soul. Inevitably, the king was drained of vigor and plunged into the chaos's heart. The Leon Lois was frozen in time, its leader lost. I remain here to contain the chaos, honoring my Lord's wishes. Perhaps one day he will return. There is nothing here save that accursed flame. I have but one wish. That my dear Lord might be freed from that unspeakable chaos. I haven't the strength to help him myself, but perhaps one such as you. Though I am yet to know your name, stranger, will you lend me your strength? Visitor, I thank you. Let me open the path to chaos. And please, do all you can. Many of Alea's followed their lord into the chaos. But not one of them returned. The king's dutiful subjects waited patiently for his homecoming. But it was too long a wait to bear. The knights of Aava await a new leader. One who will guide them into chaos.
So Alsana here was the one who caused all the blizzards and the ice. And yes, she is the child of dark of this DLC. And she appears to be rather friendly, as opposed to the other 3 Childs of Dark we've met. Although one of them only kind of haunted us post-mortem. Anyway, it's time to check out what we can make of Aava's soul, because it's a pretty sweet thing. The Ivory Straight Sword. Sword of Fabian, Knight of William Lois. This blade, crafted with ivory ore native to the land, harnesses souls to slash at foes. Sir Fabian led loyal knights of William Lois straight into the depths of chaos to exterminate the terrible things that dwelt there. But not one of the selfless knights returned. This is a freaking lightsaber and it's awesome. It is not that strong compared to other swords, but the strong attack just really kicks ass. It doesn't look like much, but it does a lot of damage. Plus, it's a lightsaber. The odd thing about it is though that the energy part of the blade has a separate hitbox from the handle, so if you hit a target with the handle as well, or rather with a small part of it that protrudes a little bit, well, you can do even more damage. It's a fun gimmicky weapon, but most of the time other weapons would be more useful. But still, it's very fun. I mean, clearly, it's a lightsaber. Just look at it, it's great. Anyway though, I think you've seen enough. Next time we're gonna do what Alsana told us and try to find the Knights of William Lois that have remained in the town. But for now, I think we'll just call it. So, see you next time.